What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. It's Shepasaurus here, and I've got Led Sheplin sitting here right in front of me, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. We are going to get into some Fury gameplay where we take on the Gempire in open realm versus realm, but first, let's talk about interface, hotkeys, and add-ons. Like, you're just starting. What do? How do you set up your page? So let's get to it. Look at that. Doesn't that look ugly? There's stuff everywhere. You only got a couple bars. The first thing I like to do is clean up my UI here, like what we're looking at while we play. I don't like a lot of clutter. I don't like stuff all over the screen. I do have a couple things that I like to put in the middle of the screen from Pure, but I'll go over that. So first things first, I need a second bar. I'm gonna need a second bar once I get more skills. 3 bars I feel like is too much when you're in the heat of PvP, especially when you're just starting out. You don't want to be thinking about 30 different buttons, right? Limit it to 20. You'll feel a lot better as you learn the game. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to escape, and we're going to go to our customized interface here, and we're going to add 2 bars. And I like the old school WoW kind of look, so I have 2 bars stacked, and you'll notice it actually puts hotbar 1 down below on the screen on top and hotbar 2 below. I think that's super weird, so we're going to change that here. So we go here, Layout Editor, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of green stuff on the screen here. Hit Start Editing and move my controls thing out of the way. So first thing we're doing, we're taking Action Bar 1, moving it out of the way, right? We're going to move my Player Pure out of the way too. Move Action Bar 2 up here, and I'm going to first set Action Bar 1. Now, I like to have my action bar a little bit smaller. I don't need to see the buttons. I know where my keys are. So I'll make this guy a little bit smaller. But you don't have to do that right now. We'll leave it alone. I usually get rid of my left cap and my right cap. You just right-click on it, hit Hide Window, put my action bar 2 over top. And now you kind of have that old school WoW 2 action bars, one on top of the other with the action bar 1 on the bottom. Primary skills, and then your extra support skills on top. Okay, so stance bar, you know, I'll kind of put that over here. I like to have my self player, and yours might not be set up like that. You might not have Pure set up, but we'll get into that when we do the add-ons. I'm going to put myself here, granted abilities right here, and if you have a pet, you know, I'll put them maybe right next to my name. I don't play any pet classes, so you'll just have to play with that. And I hide this cast bar because we're going to use an add-on for another cast bar that I like a lot better. So I'll make this cast bar, you know, a little bit bigger to match my hostile target and friendly target frames. And then I'm going to turn off a whole bunch of stuff because there's a lot of extra stuff on here that I don't think I necessarily need. And I like to have everything organized. So where I have this city tracker public quest, I'm going to put everything kind of in the same spot. Box on top of each other here. And the good thing about this interface is it automatically locks it into place when you're next to another bar. So I got all my trackers up here. And quest tracker, I don't really do much PvE questing, so I'm going to hide this. You're welcome to leave it up wherever you want. But I'm going to bring it down here with my right cap, and I'm going to hide it. I'm also going to hide my morale bar. And that's because I'm going to show you the add-on I use for morale, which I like a lot better. It's a little bit cleaner. It just looks nicer. Mouse over target. Yeah, I'm going to hide that. I'm going to hide my HUD tracker. I don't like that. Open RVR. I'm going to hide it. Campaign status is hidden. This resource quest status is hidden. And enemy kills. You can have that on if you like seeing enemy kills. I don't really care about kills. I have fun without seeing that. And I'm going to move my tactics window over here on the left. I like it down on the bottom. You don't need it so big, a little bit smaller. It doesn't need to be something that catches the eye while you're in the middle of combat, which is why I put it over there, right? So we kind of got the left side or the right side of the screen set up. I'm going to set up the left side here. So move this over a little bit. Kind of however big you want your chat box to be. You don't need it huge, but I like it large enough so I can see at least 7, 8 messages in case I want to go back and look. The next thing I do, this big old ranked leaderboard is kind of in the way right here. So I'm going to move it off to the side and shrink it while I mess with my other stuff over here. We're going to use enemy in this layout for our party frames, which means all these other party frames you don't need. So we're going to move them all out of the way here and hide them one by one. Hide. And I like to choose one spot to hide all my windows because if I quickly want to change something in my interface, I don't want to be trying to look around, oh, where is everything? I already know where all my hidden stuff is, and everything that's not hidden, I'll be able to find it easily. This party members, we're going to make that small. We're going to hide that too because we're using enemy for our unit frames here. So hide Wargram Group 1. And as you see, it's a little bit of setup to kind of clean everything up here so you don't have stuff popping up all over the place. All right, hide window. Easy setup here. Open party notifications. I don't know. I always hide it. I have no idea what it is. I don't think you need it. I haven't needed it. Surrender vote window. No, we don't surrender. We don't surrender. So we're just going to hide that. Pet player, pet target. You can't hide this. I don't use pets. I'm not quite sure what it is. If you use pets, let me know where you like to put it. But for me, I'm just going to put it down here because it's hidden. Don't need to worry about that. And your enemy unit frames, you can put it where you like. Some people like it down here and actually like it to fill up the front of your screen. But I like the old school in the left side of the screen, kind of where it's shown. We're not going to have your status here because pure, we're using it right here. It gives us a much better display of your buffs, debuffs, your health, your action points, and it's a lot clearer. I like it a lot. Enemy KDR, we don't care about that. We don't care about any of that stuff. Secondary target, we don't care about a secondary target. We got to kill our primary target. Enemy guard distance, I can hide that up in the left. Don't really use it. This enemy stopwatch, I don't really use that either. I use, up here in the top right below your minimap is something called enemy timer. I kind of use that to show how long I've been in combat here. Hostile target, HUD, pure, friendly target. These aren't anything that really show up. I'm just going to keep them kind of on top of each other here, up in the right. And we're going to hide primary target. Hide that back down here. Public quest boss meter. If you like doing public quests, sure, keep that turned on. I'm gonna hide that, and I'm gonna hide my tips. We don't believe in tips on here. Now we got a whole bunch of stuff in the middle, and everything in the middle that I have is add-ons that just populate right in the middle here. Let me move this back over. Enemy target, hide that window because we're gonna use pure for our enemy targets, and also this SOR anchor window. I'm going to explain what this is, and we're going to use this actually instead of having our quest window there. Because we're going to be open RVR the whole time, right? We're just going to be doing player versus player. We don't care about quests. Our quest is killing the nasty Gempire, right? Long live the Shempire. So here we go. Rank leaderboard back off to the side because we're not done editing stuff. Here are my morale add-ons, which is really nice. Let's see. Let's move everything out of the way because it all comes in on top of each other. I like to move my morale buttons down here on top of my tactics. Right off here to the side. Don't need to worry about them too much. I'm going to hotkey my morale buttons. And we'll go over the hotkeys in a little bit. How I like to set mine up so that all my abilities are next to each other. And I kind of set up all characters the same way, right? So I'll use the first 5 buttons as attack skills. Q and E are going to be support skills. But we'll get into that. Guard list, right? I could put that pretty much anywhere here. I'm just going to pop it right there. My enemy marks, I'm going to put right here above my morale. We're going to use this. I'm going to show you how awesome enemy marks is, but we'll get into that. I like to put guard line window right here on my character. So it's like when it activates, when somebody guards my character or I guard someone else, it shows a line from the person guarding me to myself. You could put it anywhere. You could put it out here. You could put it down here, but it just looks weird because that's where the line is going to attach to. You kind of want to have it on your character. It's going to throw off your perspective if you don't have it on your character. Just trust me on that. I've tried it. Guard list, pop it down there. And like I said, I'm using Obsidian Cast Bar, which is a little bit different than the normal cast bar. You can customize it, change the colors. I just think it's pretty. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty neat. So that's why we're using it. And I put it in between my friendly target and hostile target for the pure bar setup. On my left and above me, I have my health and action points. And then I have my friendly target health and action points. If you're a healer, you always want to have that front and center, whoever your target is. And you want to have your group off here to the left. In my hostile target, I like to be able to keep looking at my screen so I could watch the enemy. What abilities are they using? Are they casting a spell? Should I be interrupting them? So I don't have to look very far to see what status effects they have on themselves or what their health or action points are. So this is kind of how I have it set up. And I'll put this ranked leaderboard right back here. If you do scenarios, that's what this is. If you're doing RBR, you can hit the tilde key on your keyboard, and it'll pop up what the current rank is in your warband. It's just something cool. Now that's the first initial setup that we got through. The next thing I do, I'm going to exit. I'm gonna play with some of my hotkeys here. So let me escape and let me go to key mapping. Right? You have a whole bunch of options here at the top. Let's start out with movement. The first thing I do is change my toggle auto run. You could use numlock, but I'm using a fancy mini keyboard, and I actually have to hit function and then another button to use numlock. So I actually change it to /. I think it's /. It's either / or /. Depends on how you look at it. And then that's all I really change here. Oh, no, I lied. I change my strafe left and right key from QE to, let's see. That's weird. Oh, yeah. So I use WSAD, and then I use A and D for strafing left and right. You're never going to want to really use your keyboard to turn left and right. That's just weird. You don't do that. Use A and D to strafe, and you turn just using your mouse. Hold down right click and turn. You want to do it that way. Trust me. Turning left and right, you're never going to use. I don't know anybody who uses their arrow keys. You could keep them as they are. That's fine. So we got that set up. What this does is it frees up Q and E to use as our hotkey buttons down on our bar. Because they're so close to your movement, it's really easy to tap Q or E for those emergency heals or emergency potions, which is what I usually use those buttons for. If I go over to hotbars, you see how it says A1, A2. That actually stands for Alt 1 and Alt 2, but I find that very difficult to hit. Hitting Alt means you're taking kind of your whole hand off the WASD, whereas I like to have my top row keys binded to Shift 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So we're going to start off with the normal hotbar button 1. So I go through 1 through 6, sometimes 5, it depends. Anything more than 6 is really hard to reach with your fingers and touch those buttons. So I'm going to start to add in other buttons here. And I have on my mouse, can you guys see this? I have a couple buttons on the side here. Most mouses do. Some mouses have a million buttons back there. That's crazy. I've got 2. So here on this, on the equal signs, I'm going to make that my mouse button 4 and mouse button 5. And I place those way on the right side of my bar for a reason, because I don't need to think about them. These are my instant react, oh shit, I need to detaunt, or I need to shield myself type skills. And then I'll come over here and I'll make this button say my middle mouse button. There we go, middle mouse button. And I'll just kind of go backwards here. I like to have my F key bound because that's real close. And like I said, I like to have my E and Q key bound. And then maybe I'll do R, right? Those are some nice keys that are all around your WASD. Now I'll do the same thing. I'll save this. We'll go back into customize or key mapping. And the reason why I saved it is because you can see down here, it changed the letter R, Q, E, F, M3, M5, M4. So now I'm going to make my top row. All it is, it's going to be Shift plus the same button. So R and then the button above it is Shift R. Q and then the button above it is Shift Q. trust me, there's a method to my madness. We'll go over that in a second. So I'm shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4, shift 5, and then I go shift R, shift Q, shift E, shift F, shift middle mouse, shift mouse 5, and shift mouse 4, and save. Now you can see I could quickly look down on my keys, and if there's an R and the ability above it I want to use, I know I'm hitting shift R. It's just kind of the secondary support abilities. Everything on the first bar is my instant, I need to hit this now, and then my shift keys take a little bit longer, another millisecond, right, to register. You got to hit 2 buttons. So it's the ones that I'm okay casting as a support skill. All right, so we got those keys set up. Let's look one more time, make sure. Targeting. So if you're a melee class, I highly, highly suggest using the hotkey for target nearest enemy, right? I'm going to use this, and this is going to be my tab key as a melee fighter. Because you're not going to be able to hit in melee hand-to-hand when they're far away. And if you don't have target nearest enemy, you're going to have to tab through a whole bunch of enemies until you get to your closest target. That's a pain in the butt, and more often than not, you're going to be tabbing, trying to find your target while you're getting whacked on for seconds by some dirty gempire, right? So, target nearest enemy, if you're a melee, tab, use it, love it. You can put cycle enemies on N or something like that. That's a good key to use if you're trying to target someone farther away. But typically, you're really wanting to target the nearest enemy when you're melee. Now, if you're ranged, I suggest cycle enemies be your tab. It's really bad. The tab targeting in this game is not great. It's circa 2008. You got to give it something. But it's still a fun game. So we live with it. If you're ranged, cycle enemies tab. If you're melee, target nearest enemies tab. Trust me on that. And pet, there are some pet keybinds. I don't really play with pets because they're buggy as all hell. But white lions are an amazing class to play. If you like pets, you're going to have to get used to that. The mods. So if I go to escape, customize interface, there's a whole mods and add-ons here. And I already kind of moved around my mods and add-ons where I like them. And now we're going to go through what mods I'm using, what I suggest you use. Excuse me. And how to download it. So you download it by going to, let's see if I could pull over something here. Warhammer Online add-ons. Bam, Google. You don't even have to memorize this tools website. Click on add-ons and bam, you could just type all these in, download it, and you save them. You don't even have to memorize or pause this video because right here at the top of when you click on mods and add-ons, it tells you right here where to place your mods and add-ons. And then to type /reload UI to load up all your add-ons. Super easy. I like that they did this for people who don't usually mod their games. Okay, so you downloaded the mods, or maybe not yet. Maybe you're waiting to see what mods I have. That's fine. Let's start with Buffhead. Buffhead is absolutely fantastic. Top of the list. You don't need to modify it at all. When it comes in, right, we go here. Let's see if, do I have any skills that add a buff? I don't. I don't have any skills here, but we'll see it later. Basically what it does, you see how there's this book over the All-Seeing's head? Well, right above my head, if I cast a heal over time on myself, you'll see an icon over my head that says what buffs I have. This is really good for, you know, keeping heals or damage over time abilities on enemies if you're trying to play a warlock type class, right, where you cast a bunch of dots. Talking about DPS Archmage, then you're going to want to make sure that all of your dots stay on target and don't fall off. That's pretty big. The next one I want to look at is enemy. Enemy is huge. There's a lot to enemy, but I'm going to focus on the 2 main points that I like about them. So right here on the bottom right are these cool marks, and you could add new marks. If you don't have enough marks, you want to mark a whole bunch of people and say, okay, these are healers, these are tanks. That's too much for me. I usually just mark the leader and who I have guarded. But you can make a whole new edit mark template, loser, right? And there you have. Now, I'm going to mark Jorgel here as a loser. Jorg. He is the loser. He has the white arrow above him. This is really great because while you're in a warband or you're fighting a 200 versus 200 battle, you need to be following your warband leader around as you maneuver through the battlefield. And he'll just say moving or follow me, and all of a sudden you have to know where he is, right? So you're going to put this big arrow on him, and you'll see him all over the battlefield and be able to follow him where he's going, easily see where he's at. The other part about enemy is the unit frames, and I really like how simple these are. You can customize these quite a bit by going right-click and going to unit frames options, and you could enemy add-on configuration. You could change a whole bunch of stuff. For healers, the biggest thing you'll want to change is click casting. You're going to want to have some sort of emergency click casting, and we'll just get into it. So I'm going to click add here, and I only really have one ability right now. I just created this new character who had his add-ons all screwed up, and we're going through it right now. So we're just going to say heal a git, right? That's what it's called. And you could mess these around. It only works on tanks, or it only works on DPS. I'm just going to have it on all because it's a heal. Everyone needs a heal. You can change what mouse button you click with. You can check if you shift and click and it'll heal, or control and click. And I'll show you in a second. I actually removed the heal ability for some reason. Flash of Chaos, yeah. And then all you got to do is drag and drop your ability right here. Right, hit OK. And hit OK. And now when I click anywhere on here, I heal. Oh, you heal him. That's sometimes a lot faster when you have a whole warband of people to just click or double click than it is to click and then hit your button. Click and then hit your button. Or you could accidentally hit your button and then click, and then you're all messed up. So that click to heal is really nice. Some people have all of their party members right in front of them, and they're just focused in on this area. I like to keep it open, nice view. I did try Fisk UI, which puts stuff all over the front of the screen, and I hated it. I couldn't play with it. I don't like all that junk in front of my screen. So that's enemy, and we're going to move on to customize interface, mods and add-ons. The next thing on my list here is guard line and guard list. This comes together as guard pack. You'll search, it'll say guard pack when you download it. Guard line and list. This is that guard button I was talking to you about. So basically, when a tank guards you or you guard someone, you have to be within 30 feet of them for that guard to work. So you'll have a link to your tank, and you always want to kind of stay in range of your tank. If you're a tank, it's more your job to stay in range of whoever you're guarding. The DPS are going to push into the fight, and if you're a tank, you're going to guard the choppa in front and make sure they don't die. It's a really great mechanic they added to this game for tanks that makes you really feel like a tank in PvP. It's awesome. The next mod that we do here, lib group, lib guard, anything with a lib in front of them, like lib guard. If I disabled lib guard, my guard line and guard list wouldn't work. It's basically a library of commands that the other add-ons read to work. So if you're using guard list and guard line, you have to have libguard activated. So these are just all on. The next one I have is morale circle. You saw those circles off to the right, and I'll hop on my witch elf here soon, and you can kind of see what the morale abilities look like. It just makes it look nicer. Obsidian, this is the cast bar, the new cast bar that I have. So if I click and I heal, you kind of see, oh, that's an instant cast. So you don't really see any type of heal there. Here, I got a 2-second cast here. Let's go find someone to kill, and you can see my, yeah, foul nurgling. So here's my cast bar, and I like to have it right in the middle, so I always have a really good idea of how long until I can move again, right? I moved too quickly, and it got interrupted. You don't want to do that. Also below that you see a little bar with a white line. When I click my heal, all you see is that white bar because it's an instant cast. What that is your global cooldown. So you cannot spam instants over and over. You cannot do another cast until the white bar hits that smaller white bar. It's just something you're going to have to get used to in the game. So it's a really good add-on. Obsidian Cast Bar has some really good functions to it. If we go to Customize Interface, Mods, Add-ons, next on the list is Pet Assist. This is almost required if you play a pet class. I can't tell you too much about it. If you're going to play a pet class, you need Pet Assist, and to use it, it's not too hard to set up. I don't think I need to get into it here, and I'm not going to talk much about it because I don't know anything about it. I don't really use it. But if you're playing a Witch Line or a Squig Herder, download Pet Assist. It'll help you a lot. Pure templates, shared assets, pure. This is what I like to use. I turn off most of it. So if I type /pure, right, I have most of it turned off, right? So if I go to group pet, it's turned off. If I go to group, it's turned off. But friendly target and hostile target are turned on. And you can edit all the colors, the sizes. I'm colorblind, so I don't really care what color they are. But whatever you like the color to be, you can do that. And you can have it set up with different textures. It's a lot to do. But the reason why I use this is because the layout is just, it gives a lot more information. Some people use Pure for their entire war group, but I use Enemy because it's just a simple layout. There's his health, there's his action points, and this green dot in the top means I'm close enough to cast a heal. That's the distance. So if I select, I don't have anyone else in my group, but you'll get more bars. You'll get yellow dots and then red dots when they're way too far away and you can't cast anything on them. So that's simple and Enemy. And then this Pure frame, it's going to give all the buffs that I have, right? All the debuffs that I have, and lots of information right in my screen about my specific target. And it doesn't fill up my screen with nonsense for my entire team. That's why I use Pure for just myself, my friendly target, and my enemy target. And I think there's target ring and WOH reticle. I have both of these turned on so you can see what they do. When I target this guy, the green ring here, that green ring is target ring. And the WOH reticle is the blue circling triangles. I like to have the WOH reticle because it's something moving and it's something easy to see. When I target someone, an enemy, and I'm in the middle of crazy combat, I can still see him through other players. It just really helps me focus on either my target I want to resurrect or heal, or my enemy target that I'm trying to follow in chaotic battle. So what I do, customize interface, mods, add-on. I don't download this target ring. I just downloaded it to show you a different option, right? I'm going to turn that off, and you'll see the green rings disappear. Then Swift Assist is just a add-on that you don't have to know about it right now. But what it does is it adds some macros. You go here, you go to macros, and you see all these macros. So this first one with the 3 arrows is your Swift Assist set assist. You're going to put this on your toolbar, and then you're going to put this singular one on a hotkey that's really easy to use. So when you're doing warband or organized PvP, one of your group members is going to be the shot caller. You want to set him as the Swift Assist set. So this 3 target, I'm going to set myself as it. Bam. So now every time I target someone, I hit this R key and I will target it. It's kind of weird because I'm only a 1-person party right now. But if you have someone else that's in your party, you click them, you click this 3 arrows, and he is now set as your main target assist. So now whenever you hit your R key, you could spam the R key, and whenever he selects a new target, you're also going to target that person. It really helps to find a single person and burn them down because heals are intense in this game. You really need to focus fire on certain people. That's what the Swift Assist add-on is. It just adds the macros. Lastly, WSCT is just another scrolling combat text. It's kind of up to you whether you want to use it or not. I kind of like how it looks better than the normal one. It's really up to what you like to see. The big, bold yellow letters are a little bit easier to see for me, rather than the small flavor text letters. And that's it. That's the add-ons. That's the interface setup. One last thing I wanted to go over, and then we'll get right into some Fury gameplay, is this State of the Realm here. It can be really confusing when you're first starting out. And so I'm going to go tier... when you're level 1, you're just going to care about tier 1, right? You're going to turn off all this other stuff. You don't need to see it. So when I have tier 1 set up, you see 2 areas here. That means there's battle in these 2 areas. Nordland, there's about 50 versus 50 people. There's no number here in the middle, which means that it's an even battle. And there's nobody at Mount Bloodhorn. You can see kind of the numbers 0 to 9 versus 0 to 9. That means there's basically maybe 1 or 2 people in Mount Bloodhorn doing stuff. You don't want to go there. You want to go where it's busy. 25 versus 25, that's great. And then you see these numbers on the left. This is for tier 1. These are the percentage of boxes you've captured. So you go in tier 1, you pick up supply boxes from flags, also called battle objectives or BOs, and then you return them to your war camp, and you try to, I think you need to capture 200 of them, and you'll slowly get to 100%. And then when that happens, you have to capture all the flags, which are also shown on this window, and it's just kind of a handy way to tell how the battle's going, who's winning, what flags you need to go to kind of watch. And I use this instead of my quest window because the only quest I have is to defeat the Gempire. And that's it. That's the tutorial. If there are any questions, let me know.